Picture this scenario, because I guarantee it has happened to you in the last month. It is 5:30 p.m. on a Friday. You have just finished a 45-hour work week. You're physically present in your car or on the train, but your brain is completely fried. You're driving home and the idea of cooking a meal seems about as appealing as climbing Mount Everest. So you pull up the delivery app, you order Thai food, a pizza, or burgers that cost you $45 with the tip and fees. You get home, crack open a beer or pour a glass of wine to take the edge off, and sink into the couch to binge your show you don't even really like, just to turn your brain off. You tell yourself, I earned this, I worked hard all week. But what if I told you that mathematically you didn't just spend $45? What if I told you that the pizza, the gas you burned, the nice shirt you wore to the office, and the very stress that forced you to order that food are all hidden taxes reducing your salary by nearly 70%? You think you're selling your time for $30 an hour, but after we do the forensic accounting on your life, the math proves you might be working for less than $4 an hour. My name is Bobby, and I spend way too much time obsessing over the invisible equations that keep us running on hamster wheels, moving slightly faster than we can run. Today, we aren't talking about investing, we are talking about an accounting fraud. Not one committed by a corporation, but one you are unknowingly committing against yourself every single time you accept a job based on the gross salary. Here is the fundamental lie. We're told our value is defined by our annual salary. If you make $65,000 a year, that's roughly $31 an hour. It sounds respectable. But in business, looking at revenue without expenses is how you go bankrupt. If a bakery sells $1 million of bread but spends $1 million on flour, it's worth zero. Yet we ignore our own cost of goods sold. And the good being sold is you. Let's perform a brutal audit of an average worker. Let's call him James. James makes $31 an hour. First, the government takes its cut. Between federal, state, and FICA taxes, that $31 is instantly shaved down to $24. That's the easy math. Now, the work-related costs. First, the commute. James spends thousands a year on gas, maintenance, and insurance just to get to the building where he makes the money. Let's say $4,000 a year. Then the cost of appearance, business casual clothes and dry cleaning. Then the convenience tax. Because he's at the office 9 to 5, he buys $5 coffees for energy and $15 lunches because he's too tired to meal prep. Finally, the decompression spending. The Friday bar tab or the impulsive vacation needed to escape the burnout. When you add the taxes, the car, the clothes, and the numbness, James isn't taking home $65,000. His real net income is closer to $35,000. We are only halfway through the equation because wage is money divided by time. And just like we overestimate the money, we drastically underestimate the time. HR says James works 40 hours a week. That is a lie. James wakes up at 6:30 a.m. to shower, shave, and iron his shirt. That is 30 minutes of labor for the employer. He commutes 30 minutes each way, unpaid labor. He takes an hour for lunch, but he's held captive. He can't go home or play with his kids. When he gets home, he spends 30 minutes staring at the wall or venting about his boss. This is shadow work. It is time that belongs to the job, but the job doesn't pay for it. If you add up the grooming, commuting, decompressing, and worrying, James isn't working 40 hours. He's dedicating 60 hours a week to his employment. Now let's do the real math. We take that net income of $35,000 and divide it by the true hours of nearly $3,000 a year. Suddenly, James isn't making $31 an hour. He's making $11 or $8. He is mathematically making less than the teenager flipping burgers who walks to work and leaves his stress at the fry station. You are selling yourself at a loss.
The reason we do this math isn't to make you depressed, it's to make you efficient. Once you know your real hourly wage, your entire view of consumerism changes. This is the antidote to being broke. If your real wage is $10 an hour and you see a new pair of shoes for $100, your brain needs to translate that. That pair of shoes isn't $100. It is 10 hours of sitting in traffic and dealing with passive-aggressive emails. Is it worth 10 hours of suffering? Almost always the answer is no. This math also exposes the golden handcuffs. We take promotions for a $10,000 raise, but then we have to buy nicer suits, work later, and order more takeout. Your real hourly wage might actually go down after a promotion. You are processing more money, but keeping less of your life. The solution? Ruthlessly optimize your real hourly wage. Treat your labor like a business. A smart owner increases margin, not just revenue. Can you work from home 2 days a week? You just gave yourself a massive raise in time and gas. Can you stop caring about what coworkers think of your clothes? That's $1 of pure freedom. Your margin is the time and money you have left over to actually be a human being.
This weekend, I want you to sit down, not on a tired Friday, but on a fresh Sunday morning, and run the numbers. Calculate your commute, your taxes, and your decompression spending. Divide your net pay by your total hours committed. Write that number on a sticky note and put it on your credit card. My real wage is $8.50. The next time you go to buy something, look at that number. Am I willing to trade 4 hours of my life for this plastic junk? That friction will save you more money than any budget app. We live in an era where time is the ultimate currency. The rich are buying time. The poor are selling it at a discount. Don't sell yours at a discount. Cut the vampire costs and start building the gap between your income and expenses. That gap is where your freedom lives. If this video made you rethink your paycheck, share it with a coworker who looks tired. We can math our way out of this trap together.